The college football experience, Texas Longhorns 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize for first place. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Parlay Play. Parlay Play is a lead pipe lock for parlaying player props. Go to parlayplay.io and use the promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus today. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience. Texas Longhorns 2023 season preview episode. Oh, we are talking Longhorn football. I'm excited to talk Longhorn football because you need, in every sport, you got to have a Darth Vader. You know what I mean? So, look, well, I'll key in on that in a second, folks. But perhaps you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, right? And that's fair. My name is Colby Swing at Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
You could say that when we're talking about the great state of Texas and the University of Texas, that, they are.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
I will call them look, growing up, Mac Priest, Holmes, Ricky Williams. First off, Texas always has some of the best uniforms in college football. But
fantastically dressed.
I enjoyed them for what they were. I rooted for Texas.
Yeah, they weren't a dominant force in the 90s. They, in fact, were
no. I mean, they've only won one national championship since 1970. Let's remind the folks. Yeah. But then came the Longhorn Network and ESPN creating that bullshit for them. And look, I'm just going to call it the way I see it. Texas started all this shit. Texas is like that unhappy girlfriend that's just no matter what you can do, you bring her to Hawaii, you bring her to Jamaica, you know what I mean? You bring her to Paris. She says, you're just not going to be happy. So now what?
They get everything their way. They get everything they want. They don't have to,
and they're not even that good.
Share in the
That's
revenue.
The irony.
Yeah.
They think they're that good, but they're not that good. I know you're going to want to turn me off. It's okay, but I have to be honest to the listeners because that is called journalistic integrity, Patty C.
There you go.
Even though I can barely write my name. All right, folks.
I mean, let's talk about this.
Hold on. Let me introduce you.
Yeah.
I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi,
let's get it going, buddy. I didn't know the University of Texas were followers, but apparently A&M took a step in the right direction. They said, no, we have to be more like you.
Oh, man.
Woo.
That is a little salt in the wound of the old Longhorns, no doubt.
What were you going to say, though, buddy?
Well, since 2014, they have one more winning season than losing season. They're approximately a 500 program.
That's what I'm saying. They're walking around.
10-win season since 2009.
They're like Ron Harper thinking he's Michael Jordan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can put on the little leg thing. It doesn't make you Jordan.
You know what I mean? It's like, get the fuck out of here.
You can put the SEC patch on your jersey. It ain't going to make you Alabama.
Yeah.
The irony.
Have fun in the SEC. All right. Have fun.
The irony is they gave Alabama a hell of a game. They probably
they should have won that game. Terrible refereeing. Yeah. Definitely a safety in the end zone. Definitely a face mask on Bijan Robinson. 2 critical penalties missed that make me think it's all a conspiracy. But Patty C, you look back at last year, and the common thing that it says, it has everyone optimistic is that they should have beat Alabama. And some of their other losses, Oklahoma State by 7, Texas Tech in overtime by 3, TCU by 7, even though that was more of a 14-point game. They recovered a fumble for a touchdown with when they're running out the clock. And the bowl game by 7. They say, hey, we're in all these one-score games. We're about to go undefeated, and we're the best team in college football. But I think we know better than that, right?
Yeah. I think, it's been happening so long, year in, year out, that, despite their supposed talent advantage, which, is in the Big 12, on paper, there every year, they have to get it done on the field this time.
I would think if you wanted to leave the Big 12 for the SEC, you'd be winning the Big 12 championship every single year.
Yeah.
That's not the case, though.
Well, who knows? Maybe
the Big 12.
Maybe the Big 12 is honestly tougher than the SEC. Obviously, last year's national championship didn't prove that. But when Missouri left
Manhattan,
the Big 12.
No, when they left Manhattan last year, they left with a strong ass whooping.
Yeah.
And it's not like A&M's been over there winning.
Well, I'm talking about when Missouri left the Big 12, and they were a good program. Then they came and won the SEC East several times.
True.
So maybe Texas will do just fine over there. But, it seems like they're going to get punished even worse.
I don't know. I mean, look, I think, they'll probably they have endless money. They'll probably find something. They're kind of actually the perfect mirror image of the Dallas Cowboys. They are the Dallas Cowboys of college football.
Right. A lot of hype.
Yeah. And
a lot of money.
Buddy,
what do you
make of they do. Their
but
uniforms
can't win to save their ass.
But what do you make of Steve Sarkisian? Is he the guy that brings them to the promised land? First off, Steve Sarkisian. I can't ever root for this guy. You know why I can't ever? Because he sued USC. First off, he's drunk on the job.
Well,
right?
That I can appreciate. I'm drunk on the job.
I can certainly appreciate that. If anything,
he's
look,
a DJ.
He's welcome to come here and have a beer. But
there we go. Shit.
How are you going to sue the university after not showing up for practice on time? The amount of balls it takes you it's like Sandusky suing Penn State for saying, you know what?
Not quite the same.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, you didn't show up.
Yeah.
Have you ever not showed up to work? I have.
Yeah.
Guess what I didn't do? I didn't sue their university, the not the university, but the business.
You know what it reminds me of? It's the abusive significant other gaslighting. It's like, oh, I didn't show up. This is your fault. Yeah. This is your fault I wasn't at practice on time.
You were buying me all those martinis last night on the company card. I wouldn't have been late for practice. All right? But we weren't with you, Steve. Doesn't matter. I used the company card. If you had not given me the company card, right. It is entrapment.
Right. You knew I was an alcoholic. We're taking a shit on Steve Sarkisian. He seems like a good guy, though.
No, he probably is a good guy, man. I'm just saying, no, actually, I can't say you're a good guy if you sue that.
He wanted to keep his job, but yes.
No, he got fired and they sued after. I'm confused. Yeah. Just to get more money? I don't understand. I don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, look, I had nothing against the guy prior to that. I liked him when he was quarterback of BYU.
He strikes me as a good guy.
Yeah, sure. Is he the right guy for the job for them to take them to the promised land, to a national championship? He makes $6.2 million a year. He better be.
Well, that's kind of like pauper's money nowadays. You got what? Saban at near 10, I feel like. Harbaugh's up in that.
Well, those guys have earned it.
Who's who didn't earn it is
Sarkisian.
Mel Tucker is up
true.
Near 10 million.
That's very true. But what if I told you Steve Sarkisian, so his 3 jobs have been Washington, who's won a national championship in the past 30 years, USC, who's won a national championship in the past 30 years, and Texas, who's won a national championship in the past 30 years. You know what his record is, Patty C? All time, 59-47.
Yeah, he hasn't exactly, this is Fast and Furious, but you're crashing the car. This is Paul Walker. Sorry. Rest in peace, but this is Paul Walker.
Paul Walker was a good guy. I've met.
We're
Paul
just
Walker.
being assholes right now. Okay.
No, I like Paul Walker.
No,
He
you
was a
gotta love
nice
Paul
guy.
Walker.
Rest in peace.
You gotta love Paul
Nice
Walker.
guy. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I've met him a couple times.
No, he also seems like a good guy, but driving the Ferrari, not particularly well. And Steve Sarkisian has been in several Ferraris and has never, looked the part.
Yeah, struggling here. So you think he's the right guy for the job? Is he gonna be the guy to get them back to the CFP?
Well, there were some encouraging signs last year. I mean, we will talk about the offense and defensive rankings, but those numbers suggest that they're moving in the right direction. Whooping the tar out of Oklahoma, the biggest win.
That was amazing.
Yeah. 49-0.
That was great. Anytime, that's the largest deficit in Red River shootout history.
Yeah. I mean,
hold on. Let me play the correct sound for that. I will play the correct sound for that.
You could play that for 10 minutes straight. That would be the correct thing.
49-0, buddy.
Jeez.
Okay. Look, we're going to talk offense, defense, special teams, transfer portal, even go game by game on the Longhorn schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yeah, sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. Besides the season-long contest, they have a weekly contest. They have several weekly contests just for the Patreons. Plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast. We will tell you the story. Patty C cost me $10,000. Completely ad-free and full of behind-the-scenes stories from SGPN. There's even a Discord channel just for our patrons. So once again, only you can prevent corporate gambling, folks. Do your part and sign up today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we are back on the college football experience, and man, you're right, buddy. Just struggling seasons left and right here. Over the past 10 years, really past 12 years. Buddy, let's talk a little about the portal. We didn't have to do this 5 years ago, but now it's just absolutely fucking bananas, and you have to talk about it. And teams like Texas go out and buy every good player in the offseason, and they still don't do things in the regular season. But let's go through it, because departing the University of Texas, wide receiver Jaden Alexis heads to South Florida, the Bulls. This one's just ridiculous. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
4-star wide receiver Brennan Thompson heads out to Oklahoma.
Only one catch, 32 yards, but
doesn't matter.
It's the principle.
I question your character.
Yeah.
All right, what the hell's going on here? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's one of the best rivalries in college football.
This is what I mean, though, like with the portal. Like, I'm on board with the player's freedom. You can transfer anywhere, just not your arch rival.
Yeah.
Just not your arch rival.
I mean, that's close to a player from Alabama transferring to Auburn or vice versa.
Yeah, disgusting.
It's close to a Michigan. I mean, it's almost the same thing. In any given year, I would say when that rivalry is up, it's the best in sports, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's on par with any other one.
Sure. Linebacker Derek Brown heads out to the Texas State Bobcats in San Marcos. Linebacker Trevell Johnson heads to ULM with Terry Bowden. Never faded Bowden in a big game. Cornerback Ismail Ibrahim is in the portal. Quarterback Ben Ballard heads out to Florida Atlantic and Tommy Herman. Remember when they fired Tom Herman? He was doing good.
Wasn't Ben Baller the guy in that one song? Ben Baller did the chain.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, that's a guy in LA. I've met him before.
Have you?
Yeah. Defensive end Ovi Okofu heads out to LSU, and Brian Kelly and his family. Wide receiver Agaye Hall, portal. Offensive lineman Logan Parr on 9 goes to SMU. Offensive lineman Junior Aguilar, probably. He heads out to the Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack. Punter Isaac Pearson heading over to the Mustangs and SMU. Pony Express, baby.
Well, one punt, 15 yards. 15 yards a punt, maybe good riddance.
Oh, man, that's tough. Surprised SMU won. Like, what the fuck's going on there? It's like, what I see here.
They just saw Texas. They're like, we'll take it. Oops.
Wide receiver Troy O'Meara heads out to the Arizona State Sun Devils, Patty C. Same with defensive end Prince Dorba. He heads out to the Sun Devils in Tempe. Fake tits everywhere. Cornerback Jameer Johnson heads out to the Indiana Hoosiers. Offensive tackle Andrew Carrick heads out to the Tennessee Volunteers. Defensive end DJ Harris heads out to South Florida, the Bulls, and Alex Galesh.
One tackle.
Hudson Card.
That's a big loss.
4-star transfer heads out to the Purdue Boilermakers. Boiler up.
That's a big loss. Obviously, we've all seen him. 9.3 yards per attempt, 69% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and providing excellent backup relief to Quinn Ewers in that Alabama game. Well, that's a but Arch Manning, but still, you'd like to have Hudson Card.
Arch Manning's not even the second string; he's the third string.
Yeah, you'd like to have Card, but he deserves to be starting somewhere.
Linebacker Devin Richardson heads out to Wazoo. Safety JD Coffey, 4-star transfer, Patty C, heading out to the San Diego State Aztecs. Jalen Garth, offensive tackles, heading out to the Houston Cougars. How do you feel about that one?
Oof, I like it. I'm not gonna lie.
We have a few. Well, I lost my place here for a second, but yeah. So, okay. Then wait, did I somehow ended up on Baylor's page.
The biggest loss of all is the greatest name in college football from last year, DeMarvion Overshown. But he's in the NFL.
I don't know what happened here. Now I'm on Ole Miss. Let me click back. I think their website's a little jacked up, 24/7 Sports. But let's get okay. That's who they lost. They might have lost some more, but they're giving me a hard time here. Incoming, Patty C.
Yeah.
Buckle up. Longhorns go out and get Minnesota defensive lineman Trill Carter. Minnesota had a top 20 defense a year ago, Patty.
Nice pickup.
They go out and get Adonai Mitchell from 5-star transfer from the Georgia Bulldogs. Won a national championship and said, "Hey, I'll take a bag of cash in Austin."
Yeah. I mean, scored a touchdown in all 4 playoff games, invitational games, as it were. That's a nice pickup.
4-star transfer Jalen Catalon from the Arkansas Razorbacks started at safety for them.
That's a huge pickup.
Yeah. Offensive lineman. No, I'm sorry. Hang on. The next one is Wake Forest cornerback, 4-star transfer. It's another one Dave Clawson built up. Gavin Holmes heads out to the Texas A&M. Heads out to the Texas Longhorns.
Just Gavin Holmes. Wait, he was at Baylor, or he was at
Wake Forest.
Dude, I'm looking at a different Gavin Holmes.
Okay. Punter Ryan Sanborn heads out from Stanford. We just talked about this one on the Stanford pod. And that's really it. There's a few others probably, but the page is not working that well. But Patty C, would you say they won or lost the transfer portal?
It sounds like they won. I mean, they're bringing in some contributors, some true high level contributors.
It's like when Dan Snyder brought in Stubblefield and Albert Hainsworth and
Dion
and Bruce Smith. You know what I mean?
You think it's like that?
I do, because I worry about the culture.
Well,
all right.
I don't think we're not talking about a massive overhaul of the roster. We're just talking about some nice additions. I'm going to say they did a damn good job.
They did. I'm just being funny. Yeah. And guess what? Quinn Ewers, he shaved the mullet.
Been in the weight room, apparently. He's looking pretty good.
He shaved the mullet. They're going to go 12.
Yeah. Sampson, Delilah got to him somehow.
Maalik Murphy is a really good backup quarterback that apparently everyone wanted to hit the portal. He stayed, probably got a bag of cash, if I imagine correctly. Arch Manning, they have quarterback depth, even though Arch Manning looked like doo-doo pie in the spring game. Running back situation, obviously losing Rashawn Johnson and Bijan Robinson. Huge, but see, the offensive line is really fucking good. So when I see the chance of whether it's Jonathan Brooks, whether it's Robinson, Jaydon Blue, or I know they're very excited about CJ Baxter, the freshman. I think all of them will be fine behind this offensive line, because this offensive line, they went young last year. They started a couple freshmen.
You said 4 coming back?
No, the entire offensive
offensive
line. So the only starter they lost is the running back position. Their wide receivers.
Rashawn Johnson was good for 6 yards a carry too, and Brooks 6.6 yards a carry.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be fine.
Jeez.
The wide receiver room is really talented. Jordan Whittingham, Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell. They get Isaiah Neyor back, who was a transfer from Wyoming the year before that tore his ACL. The tight end, Jatavian Sanders, is back. I mean, Patty C, they're going to win the national championship, right?
I mean, they got 3 guys with 50 catches or more in Whittington, Sanders, and Worthy. Yeah, their offense.
Did I rattle off that last year they were the 24th best scoring offense in the country, 36th best rushing offense, 55th best pass offense, charting at the 34th best offense. Will they be better in 2023? I would say yes.
It sounds like it. I mean, what did you think of Ewers? Inconsistent, but flashed.
Definitely flashed. I thought he sucked on the road. When he hit the road, he sucked. But that's something a lot of freshmen suck when they hit the road.
Yeah.
So, but he did make a mistake by shaving the mullet. Defensively,
still, I don't hate him as much as I thought I would.
No, I like the fact he stole $1 million from Ohio State.
That's always fun.
But the mullet is part of the reason why you like him.
Well,
he's like Swayze and Roadhouse.
Yeah,
and now you just have some stiff back there. You know what I mean? Like I want to see Swayze and Roadhouse.
Yeah,
again.
bring the mullet back. Let's be honest. But I was thinking he'd be like a cocky shit, which he might be, but he seems like a somewhat likable guy. We'll see.
Yeah, I've never heard him talk.
It just his vibe. His vibe is body language.
I got nothing against the guy.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to hate.
I mean, besides being a Longhorn,
right?
Being a Longhorn, you know, he could have transferred to a lot of other schools, but instead he wanted to wear that burnt iron. Anyway, defensive side of the ball last season, 27th in scoring defense, 32nd in rush defense, 90th in pass defense. Patty C, 53rd best defense in the country.
That's got to improve.
Kwiatkowski,
Chris Peterson guy from back in Boise and Washington.
And by the way, did I mention the OC's Kyle Flood, the former Rutgers head coach? Defense only returned 6. Are we concerned? Patty C?
I think you have to be a little bit concerned. You know, they are bringing back some guys, some studs.
2 of 4 on the defensive line. Baron Sorrell, Devondre Sweat back at the DN and the D tackle spot, but breaking in 2 new guys. It's going to be Byron Murphy. You might see Trill Carter in there from Minnesota, also Justice Finkley. The linebacking core, they're planning on starting a freshman, Anthony Hill, that's supposed to be a stud. But the other 2 are, so breaking in 1 new linebacker, the other 2 are Jalen Ford and Jade Barron.
You know, Jalen Ford led the team in tackles, had 2 sacks, also led the team in interceptions with 4. That's a stud linebacker, and Barron was 4th on the team in tackles, also led the team in tackles for loss. So it's a nice linebacking core they got.
They lose a corner, but they bring the kid in from Wake Forest. I don't know if he'll start. They also have Terrence Brooks, who might start. Got 3 starts a season ago. The other starting cornerback back is Ryan Watts, who was an Ohio State transfer.
7th on the team in tackles from the corner position. That's pretty impressive for Watts.
They bring back 1 safety in Jaron Thompson. The other safety that they're penciling in is Catalone, the transfer from Arkansas. Kicker Bert Auburn is back. And they brought in Ryan Sandberg, the punter from Stanford. Patty C, will this be a better defense? Because they did lose 5 guys. Will it be a better defense in 2023?
Well, Kwiatkowski, however you pronounce his name, he isn't a huge name, but I feel like Boise and Washington had solid. His tenure as a defensive coordinator, has been solid. This is his 3rd year at Texas. I think we'll see a marginal improvement, but losing Overshown, he's on the Cowboys now. That's a massive, hit, but Texas kind of reloads. I think they will improve. I think, in fact, these numbers are a little low for Texas. You said number 53,
53rd
overall
best defense in the country.
They should improve on that.
I mean, they should be better based on the talent they had last year, right? Doesn't make any sense.
The Big 12 is as tough as ever, but I think maybe just a hair easier this year. Am I wrong about that? Iowa State
last year. Well, once we see the gambling suspensions, maybe, but
TCU.
And bringing in 4 AAC schools, but
yeah, I think we'll see an improvement on both sides of the ball with respect to the national ranking.
Okay. But you don't have a real doormat unless you're considering Iowa State because of the suspension.
No, it's not an easy schedule at all.
It's not like, I feel like the ACC has like 6 doormats. The SEC's got Vandy. The Pac-12's got Stanford and Cal. And
the Big 12 has none.
Yeah. The Big 10 is like half their conference. But buddy, Look, we're gonna go game by game on the schedule, project how the Longhorns will do in 2023. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Parlay Play. Parlay Play is a great way to get down on your favorite parlayed player props. Football season is right around the corner, and Parlay Play will have all your favorite player props. Parlay Play is available in a ton of different states, including California and Texas. Plus, for our good friends up north in Canada, Parlay Play is available in a bunch of Canadian provinces, so hop on over there. And when you sign up, make sure you use our code. You'll get a sweet bonus to get you started. I've already touched on this. A parlay I like for week 0 is the over on the USC San Jose State game at 63.5. And Rich Rodriguez and Jacksonville State that game's at a pick as they open up their brand new life to the FBS with a home game against the UTEP Miners. I think they get it done. Parlay that thing. Head on over to parlayplay.io. Use that promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Once again, that's parlayplay.io, promo code SGP. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Texas Longhorns 2023 season preview episode. And Patty C.
Let me tell you this
What's
real
that?
quick. This team 3-5 in 1-score games last year. Maybe if they can flip that around, a special season might be in store.
Still, the under would still hit though if you flip that around. But
or
look,
they 8 and
8-5.
no, if they went 5-3, they'd be
The win total I'm talking about.
10-2 would be if they were 8-5 last year, or
8-4
last year
in close games, and they go 5-3 in close games
they
this
get
year.
2 more wins.
That means they have 3
but
losses.
they still have 3
Yes.
losses. You're right.
Folks, we're breaking down math over here with Dundee. Hopefully you're subscribed on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. We host the college football experience. We also host the FCS college football experience podcast and the college basketball experience. Texas basketball roster is loaded. When the season starts, I'll be here every single night of the season. We also host the college baseball experience. Texas keeps a good baseball program as well. The Rocket, Roger Clemens, is from there. And the Big 12 experience. We have all those podcasts out. Separate podcasts. So go subscribe to them. Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all this shit. But we come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. And right now, if you're watching it on YouTube, you see right here, sweet graphic. Shout out to Cam Kerr. The win total sitting at 9.5. Stop it. Don't just stop it. What's your first reaction?
My first reaction is that seems pretty optimistic for a team that has won 10 regular season games 0 times since
Mac Brown
2009. Yeah.
And how about the fact that Steve Sarkisian's never had a 10-win season?
Also a red flag.
Let's get to it, buddy, because week 1, question is, Patty C, who's going to win this one? Because the Rice Owls, who have a 5-star quarterback.
And who are trying to get into
5-star against 5-star.
A Power 5 conference.
With their enrollment of 12 people. Like a high school in Montana. The Rice Owls will go 0-1. Yes. Texas 1-0. And now week 2, the Longhorns come into Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Patty C, what is happening here?
The Longhorns, well, I will say this. They did catch Alabama with an ideal situation here with the quarterback being pretty new, presumably. I mean, Jalen Milroe, I think he was pretty good last year, but he wasn't Bryce Young.
Look, if you're not LSU, you can't win in Tuscaloosa. As much as I wouldn't even mind Texas winning this game, even though I hate them.
I don't know
what they did.
I hate Texas more than Alabama.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I grew up liking Texas, but all this shit every year.
I grew up liking both of those teams.
Yeah, me too.
And the only thing I hate about Alabama is that they're really damn good.
No,
Saban's a little hateable. Yeah, and they cheat.
Yeah.
They cheat,
But
Texas is not going to win that game.
I don't think so either. We got to favor Bama.
But
1-1.
I mean,
they could.
Yeah. Look, that's the one thing that
But in Tuscaloosa, their
out.
record in Tuscaloosa is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But Texas, like, they turned it on. They had the full attention, and they could go athlete for athlete with Alabama. I don't think Alabama's used to that.
Well, I don't think Alabama's used to playing road games in the non-con. I think that was their first road game in the non-con in like 15 years.
That's true. National
since they played Duke. At Duke, NC Nick was at the game.
That's incredible. That's pathetic and incredible. And yes, that made it harder. Bear with me for 1 second while I rattle these off. National Composite Talent Rankings as of 2022. I know you're not a huge believer in this for good reason, but
I think Exhibit A,
they
for
do
me not believing, is the Texas Longhorns.
Well, sure. But listen, how many of these teams does Alabama face on an annual basis, and how have they stacked up against them recently? Alabama number 1, Georgia number 2. Georgia's played with them, right?
They've beaten them, I think 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, recently. Ohio State number 3. I think the last time they played, Ohio State beat them.
No, I don't think so. I think Bama beat them, right, in the playoffs. Am I crazy?
Did they beat them? Oh yeah, they whooped their ass in the national championship. But they split 1-1 in the playoffs. Texas A&M 4. Texas A&M, despite being terrible,
Kirby Smart and Urban Meyer were the coaches there.
Okay, how about Texas A&M? Jimbo Fisher took him to the goal line last year.
True,
right?
That's true, dude. Took him to the goal line. You're right.
Clemson, right, number 5 rather, has given Alabama a good challenge. Texas number 6. So they're in, from a competitive talent standpoint, they're in a league that gives Texas trouble.
Look, I hope Texas wins,
or gives Bama trouble, I should say.
No, I don't. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
What do you think is going to happen? You think
got to favor Bama because it's in Tuscaloosa. If it was in Austin, I would take Texas.
Yeah.
1-1. Now Craig Bowl and the Wyoming Cowboys come to Austin, Texas, and I'm sure this next year Texas will study the tape and grab 3 players from Wyoming. But 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Then they head to Waco on September 23rd to take on Dave Aranda. It's a loss, buddy.
It could be.
It's the final time they go to Waco. And let me tell you, if you watched the game last year, I thought it was a closer game than people
They're going to lose one of these. They're going to go 1-1 in this stretch at Baylor and hosting Kansas.
Yes.
They might go 0-2. They might go 2-0.
I think they go 1-1.
Probably going to go 1-1.
They go 1-1.
Yeah.
They lose at Baylor. They win against Kansas.
3-2.
3-2, and then the Red River Shootout. Now, here's the thing. I think Texas is a lot better than Oklahoma. But damn, if you beat a team 49-0, you realize Venables isn't going to be able. If he gets blown out again, he's fired.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Buddy,
that was the largest deficit in the history of the Red River Shootout.
How much does Texas have to do to fire him, to get him fired?
30. If it's a 30-point win.
Let me tell you what. Texas, this game, Texas hasn't won 2 in a row since 2009, since Mac Brown was there.
I favor Texas. The only reason why I think Oklahoma could is because of how bad Texas embarrassed them last year. But I'm taking Texas.
I think it'll be obviously way closer. But this game always delivers no matter what, whether it's a complete.
Not last year.
No, it was entertainment value.
Oh, okay.
I watched for the horror show. I'm always entertained by it.
Sure. Okay.
I do think Texas wins 4-2.
4-2, and then they get a bye week, and then yes. The used car salesman, Dana Holgerson.
You think they're going to get it done?
Dana Holgerson. Buddy, let me tell you something. Here. Dana Holgerson's he's had a knack for beating Texas when he was at West Virginia.
Yeah.
This is a more dangerous game than people think.
Dude, the second half of this schedule, they're going to get a couple of times.
I'm telling you, I want to say, I'm trying to find Holgerson's record. So he was at West Virginia from 11 to 18. All right.
Yeah.
So let's look at, I'm going to quickly try to pull up West Virginia versus Texas. But what do you make? What do you make of this game?
I think the talent gap, the talent disparity is a little too big.
That's what was it last year with Texas Tech?
That's what they always say. No, Houston could definitely win this, and I would love that. Okay,
so look,
because Houston is one of the teams that got screwed. Out when the Southwestern Conference merged with the Big 8 to form the Big 12, and Houston got left out.
Holgerson's 4-3 against Texas, and check out these games: 48-45 in Austin. Holgerson wins in 2012, right?
Yeah.
2013, Holgerson loses in Morgantown in overtime, 47-40, right?
Yeah. He
loses the next year in Austin. They lose 33-16, got their ass whooped. Then very next year, though, Holgerson gets revenge, 38-20, 18-point win in Morgantown. Then the next year in Austin, Holgorsen wins 24-20, right? Then in Morgantown, Texas Strikes Back, wins 28-14. And then his final year in Morgantown, he wins 42-41 as he goes for 2 with Will Greer. It's Gus Johnson on the call. And so he has a 4-3 all-time lead. And here's what's crazy. He's 3-1 in Austin. I know this game's in Houston, but
that
still.
is crazy. I'll tell you what. I don't know which of these 3 games they're going to lose, but
so rattle off those 3 games. What are
we Houston, hosting BYU, and hosting Kansas State? They're going to lose one of those.
I agree. They will lose one of them, and then your unders cashed. But let's say they upset Alabama. Let's play devil's advocate. They upset Alabama. They lose to Baylor, and they lose one of those 3 games: Houston, BYU, or Kansas State.
They got, what are they at that point? They're 7-2 with 3 games.
7-2 in the remaining schedule at TCU, then at Iowa State, and then home to Texas Tech.
They lose one of those 2.
I agree.
Yeah, this team's 8-4, and I think that's like close to the ceiling. 9-3 is, I feel like, the absolute ceiling.
Yeah, Yeah. I mean, the easiest game on the schedule is who?
It's Rice, and Wyoming.
They went bowling last year, both those teams.
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably beat both those teams in Austin.
They will. But
But aside from that, there's not a team that I would say they're a guaranteed to beat. I think Houston's probably the next easiest game. And then with the turmoil going on at Iowa State.
What's good if you're an Iowa State fan is hopefully the suspensions are done by the time November 18th comes around.
Yeah. I mean, they have to go to Ames, and Campbell's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
I think Campbell's a better coach than Sarkisian. I don't think there's any real doubt about that.
Should have beat them a year
Either
ago.
way, let's say that's 4 win. Yeah, what was the score in that game?
They got robbed. Xavier Hutchinson dropped
24-21. Yeah.
You know what? Call me crazy, Patty C.
Yeah.
Knowing that this gambling ring, do you remember the Xavier Hutchinson drop? Do you think he might have had money?
You think he shaved points?
I'm just saying that drop was pretty crazy on the road.
It's possible. Look, the conspiracy theories aside here. X-Files up in here. Look, I think those are 4 games you should probably count toward the win column. Iowa State a little less so than the others.
No. Last time you go into Ames, fuck you.
Maybe not. That. I think probably even Houston is not a guaranteed win, but I'd lean heavy Texas there. The other, I mean, Alabama's almost certainly a loss, I would think. Other than that, you have 8 or 9 games that are a coin flip, and you think you're going to win all of them, or all but one? No way. No, almost lock. I think it might be Lockworthy. Texas is not hitting 10 games. I think it is Lockworthy.
Locking it up.
Yeah, I'll lock it up.
Patty C, lock it up. The Texas Longhorns
on their way out the door.
I'm in. Fuck it. Let's go.
Look, this is like acting like Oklahoma just doesn't figure it out either.
They did luck out by not playing Oklahoma State because Dundee has had their number.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting little factoid here. As of this year, Oklahoma ties with Texas A&M as Texas's most played rival of all time. So both of those teams have an equal rivalry historically with Texas. They take that into the SEC next year, and they're probably going to be playing. Both teams will be playing Texas every year. Curious who Texas fans consider the biggest rival, Texas A&M or Oklahoma.
Is it A&M who you're following, or is it Oklahoma who followed Texas? I think there's only one option here.
If you're the follower, you got to be the hater.
Yeah, Oklahoma, little bitches on this too. Yeah. It's like, Texas is going. We have to follow them.
Well, they know where their bread is buttered. Let's be honest.
Gotta go with them. That's like NC State right now with North Carolina.
Yeah,
folks, we're both on the under. Lock it up. And I had a chance to sit down with Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour, to talk about Darrell Royal Stadium. I've been to the stadium. Great time. So here's that interview talking about his travels to Austin. Joining me on the Texas Longhorns 2023 season preview episode on the College Football Experience is none other than Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. Michael has been to every single college football stadium in the FBS, and he documents all of his travels on his Twitter profile at CFB Campus Tour, and it is only college football stadium talk on that profile. It's absolutely fantastic. He goes to like 6-7 games a week. A lot of stadiums he's been to multiple times. He's been to a lot of the FCS. So I mean, you got to follow his page at CFB Campus Tour. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk some Texas Longhorn football in Darrell Royal Stadium, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You're getting me excited. We got real football here in a couple of weeks. So, and this is a big one, over 100,000 people at DKR. So let's get into it.
Yeah, DKR. Look, I mean, this is a stadium. I've been to this stadium, and I had a great time. A great time tailgating and all that good stuff, and had a good college football experience. It was raining, so I actually love when weather happens at a football game. So I enjoyed it. I caught them against Kansas State in the Bill Snyder era, and it was just a very good game, close game back and forth. But loved my experience. Tell me though about the history of the stadium.
So it's 99 years old. So next year it'll be 100 years old. The original capacity was 24,000. As I mentioned, is right at 100,000 now. Texas Memorial Stadium / Darrell K. Royal. Darrell K. Royal was their coach who won 3 national championships and 8 conference titles during his tenure. It's the largest Big 12 stadium for another year, and it's the 7th largest stadium in all of college football. And it's very recognizable now by a recent renovation. In 2021, they completed the South End Zone project, $175 million endeavor to fully enclose the stadium, and which is something that's very unique to there is they made the seats form the shape of a Longhorn logo there. So I haven't seen that anywhere else in college football. So it's very distinct, and you're in Texas when you see that big Longhorn in the crowd.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, look, Austin's a great city too. So it's right there. That's obviously, a great city for live music and just having some drinks, on 6th Street, I think it's called there. How many times have you been to this game been to the stadium? Because, this is one that I feel like it's constantly changing.
Yeah. So I've been to one game there. It was during COVID. It was 2020. They played Baylor. They won 27-16, up 27-3 entering the fourth quarter. And I doubled this one up with UTSA. Austin and San Antonio aren't that far apart. But I didn't get the full experience. I've said this on your show before, going there during COVID. So you had a much more authentic experience in the rain with Kansas State. They play a game on Black Friday against Texas Tech. And I'm still trying to hone in on where I want to go. There's a New Mexico, Utah State. I haven't been to New Mexico 2018. Boise State is playing at 10 a.m. They haven't played there in 2018. But potentially this is a night game, last game of the season, conference opponent, Texas Tech. This could be the best choice. So I definitely want to replace that COVID experience, and it might be Black Friday this year.
Folks, did you hear what he just said? He's like, I might be at Boise. I might go to Albuquerque. Look, I mean, that's exactly why you should follow his page, because the guy's going to 6-7 games a week. He went to 3 in one Saturday last year and documented it all on his page. A lot of times he'll talk about the history of the stadium, show you photos from back when it originally started. Just a must follow at CFB Campus Tour on Twitter. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on, and maybe one day I'll catch you at Darrell Royal Stadium.
Yeah, this is a good one. And then, go to Austin downtown. That's a good way to cap the night. So we got to get that on our schedule. For sure, man. Take care, and looking forward to seeing your travels this season. Michael Barker. Look, I mean, you got it. I had a good time. Look, I shit on Texas a lot, but they've deserved that shit, in my opinion. Sure. I love them in the back in the day. Yeah. Look.
They are the ultimate, troublemakers.
They are. 6th Street, though. Austin, Texas, a lot of fun.
Joe Rogan holding it down, bringing the comedy scene down to Austin, too.
Comedy scene's down in Austin. Everything's down there, all right? Just not wins, all right? Just not Big 12 titles, all right? Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're first off, give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Patty C is on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Give me a follow or come talk shit to us. It's always great. Also, subscribe wherever podcasts can be found. The College Football Experience, the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience, the Big 12 Experience, all together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, and check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as they break down all 32 NFL teams. We just had Phil Steele on the show, just had Randy Cross on the show. Go check out those episodes, and we talked a lot of college ball there. So check out those, and Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And come talk in the Discord. SportsGalleryPodcast.com/Discord. Until next time, folks, this is the college football experience. Horns down style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
We can really run and shoot, and you know what you're getting.